We out here. Welcome to our podcast, Below the Belt. Good to have each and every one of you with us today. Welcome. Good to have you guys with us. Good to have you guys. How are you guys doing out there? How are you guys doing out there? We trust that you are well. What a day it is, folks. Things heating up in this country. Things are heating up, people. How y'all doing? Things heating up. Things heating up. Can't lie to y'all. Things are heating up, folks. We saw some things on Twitter this morning. We have a right to draw to your attention. We have a right to draw to your attention, people. We can draw them to attention. Good to have each and every one of you, wherever in the world you guys are joining us from. Sugate, Isabel Yeung speaks. Isobel Yeung speaks. Good to have each and every one of you guys. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? That interests us. How are you good folks? Our friends and family. How are you guys doing out there? Oh, there's no place like home, boy. No place like home. Wouldn't trade this country for any place in the world, in the world. Wouldn't trade it. So many of you are already joining us. We want to see those emojis, folks, and we want to see those comments. Sugate, Isabel Young speaks. Good to see you, Patricia Kisoon and June Chase. I see another Patricia in this event is Patricia Leacock. Patricia Kisoon. We got June Case is here. Andrew Cuthbert. All the usual suspects. The gathering. And we are happy. We are happy that you guys are here. We are so happy and privileged that you guys are here with us. Couldn't ask for more. Just could not ask for more, folks. You guys make the program what it is, the program. Mark Williams, we see you, and Judith David, we see you. Lyndon Cadogan. St. Stanislaus, Washington, folks, a lot of things happening. St. Stanislaus watching us from where? Fancy place. Sharon Shea, good to see you. And Deborah. Big things are going, Deborah. Folks, right off the bat, the weather where we are, we trust it's better where you guys are hanging out today. The weather where we are is 28 degrees outside. 28 degrees outside. And they're telling us the 24% chance it's going to rain. It's 28 degrees outside, but they, as in the weather.com, says it feels like 33. As Amanda Walton is, he would say, it's toasty. It is toasty, but I'm so happy, so happy that we had together, folks, and a bit, quite a bit of information to get through, folks. Quite a bit of information for us to get through, folks. Ay. Things are heating up, guys. Things are heating up. And we're going to talk about some of that a little later on in our broadcast. Sooner than later. I want to get right into it now. Because I know y'all out there, y'all like Bacchanal story. Yep. We are a people who like the bamba. Some of us want to chill with the big boys. Nasu? We want a bamba. Chill with the big boys. Myrtle Hines. Good to see you, Myrtle Hines and Mark Julian, Winston Henry, and Romy Leander. Dawn Barnes is here. Jean Williams. Margaret Nelson is here as well. And we love to see all of you folks. Derek Smith and Kurt Heidekan and Sam Vanderstoop. Lauren Jones is here. Elizabeth Lorraine is here as well. Elizabeth says, we like the melee. We love the bacchanal. We love the bacchanal, people. Good to have each and every one of you with us. We trust that even if the weather isn't perfect where you are, that you are going to rise to the occasion. You're going to rise to the occasion. We're going to get through, folks. Carla Forbes, Sheena Hazel, Beverly Booker, we see you guys. Brenda Braffett and Merlin DeYoung, we see you. Marlon Queen Van Veen and Rico, good to see you guys as well. Olivia George, good to see you too. Good to see you, Olivia George. Folks, quite a bit of information to get through. Quite a bit of info to get through. And I wanna let's we gotta set the tone. We gotta set the tone. I hope y'all say our prayers. We gonna need it. We got some difficult days ahead of us. We have some difficult days ahead of us. And folks, let's start on a lighter note. Let's start on a lighter note. Just yesterday, all kinds of folks listen to our programs, and invariably when adults are listening to our programs, the kids are nearby, and they sneak and listen too. That's just how things are. And it's not a program for kids by any means, because we get below the belt and so forth. We get below the belt and so forth. Is not a program for kids by any means. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And we were so happy that we were sent a clip quite recently by a young lady, a toddler. A parent sent it to us. And she could be probably no more than 5. And it's quite interesting what she said. Quite interesting what she sent us. I want you guys to take a listen. I think it was the sweetest thing ever. It was the sweetest thing ever. Take a listen to her, guys. Take a listen to her and what she said in her own little way.
Let's fight. Good to see you. Good to see each and every one of you.
Isn't that the sweetest thing ever? Hear a little voice. Let's fight. Good to see each and every one of you. Oh, they're growing up so fast, folks. They are growing up so fast. I would love to hear some of you, give us the introduction. I would love to hear some of you, Linda Thomas and Jordan, Jasmine, Carmichael, all the other folks. I would love to hear from you. Love to hear from you. How you would sing "Let's fight." Let's fight, folks. I'd love to hear from some of you. That's our affiliate program, the In the Ring program, and that's not what- that wasn't all. The youngster is trading up. Is trading up. I'll give you back that piece again, or it's saying "Let's fight," and then she sent another piece too.
Let's fight. Good to see you. Good to see each and every one of you.
I love her sweet little voice. Here's what else she said, folks. Here's what else she said. Here's what else she said.
Pace and power.
The young ones are coming up.
Pace and power.
That's pace and power. That's what she's saying. Pace and power. Invariably, parents and watch the program, and their kids are nearby, and that's how we learn sometimes. You don't make any deliberate effort. When I was going to high school, we had the boom boom bus. It's kind of tamed down now. The drivers still wild, but some of them still wild. But the boom boom music kind of toned down now. We had the boom boom, but sometimes you won't set out to learn the songs. But you travel on them bus every day for 5 years going to high school and so on. Some of them songs come in your head. And sometimes you're just singing them invariably. Two fall in my yard. One a cock and one a hen, and the hen a put me in a problem. I know I never set out to learn this song. But you them buses every day, 5 years in high school life. Couple of them songs, couple of those songs get stick in you folks. And that's how you learn sometimes by default. You hear, your choice of music sometimes. could be largely influenced by what your parents listen to. You grow 18 years in a house listening to Neil Diamond and Kenny Rogers and Shabba Ranks and so on. You don't know how you like this music, but that is your proclivity. Your proclivity. You love some Bach and Beethoven and Tchaikovsky, and you got Paganini and all the other great classical musicians you got a liking for, because that's what you hear. That's what you grew up hearing, and so you like that. If you grew up hearing that announcement, every funeral you want to go to, you become chief mourner. They can rent you every funeral you want to go to, folks. And that's sometimes how it is. So the sweetest thing ever, we want to thank that parent for sending that to us. Really want to thank that parent for sending that to us. So much happening. Like, I can't even wait to Friday to open up the lines. Like, I can't even wait till Friday. Like, I think some part of this show today, I can open up this show to hear from some of you. I think that's what we're gonna do. Sometimes you gotta mix things up. Like, I can't even wait till Friday for open mic day. So much happening. Well, let me see as we get closer to the halfway mark how things going. Folks, just by way of informing you, some of what has been happening. As you guys know, last evening in the National Assembly, um, so much was happening. I think Minister Dharmlal, installed Minister Dharmlal, his ministry was on the scrutiny yesterday in the budget estimates. This is where money allocated to the ministry, you get the opportunity to go through step by step, page by page, line by line, and quiz the minister, who in turn leans on his staff for guidance in terms of what the money is going to be spent on. And so that was transpiring from about, I think, I'm from about somewhere between 10 and 11 yesterday, basically for the whole day. And parliamentary opposition member after parliamentary opposition member asking questions were vilified, and the lewdest things were said and all manner of stuff. And after a while, I couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't take the nonsense anymore. And part of what was said by this installed minister, nasty Nigel Darmlal, was the comment about the dildo. I tell you, that's just one of the things. That is just one of the things. And the Speaker of the National Assembly seemed unwilling to rein in the honorable gentleman, quote unquote, seemed unwilling to rein him in. So, as we played for you on our affiliate program last evening, In the Ring, this is what one of the things he said during the course of responding to questions to one of our female MPs. Take a listen.
The the reason why this figure was higher in you gotta get dildo. That's what you're looking for. You there were snacks that had to be supplied to the team that distributed the COVID cash grant, so that is why the figure was so high last year. The the reason why this figure was higher in you gotta get dildo. That's what you're looking for. You there were snacks that had to be supplied to the team that distributed the COVID cash grant, so that is why the figure.
We were shocked, folks. We were nothing short of shocked.
That's what you're looking for.
We were shocked. Who got to get a dildo?
You gotta
Okay.
get dildo. That's what you're looking for. You in you gotta get dildo. That's what you're looking for. You
And as I said to you guys, that was only one among several things that were said during the course of the installed Minister Nigel Darmlal doing what he's supposed to be doing, even though he's installed. We can't want to spend the people money, but you don't want to be interrogated and questioned as to what the monies are being spent on, especially when in some areas in this budget, they cannot really and truly rationalize. They just put other. And on the other, they got $400 million, $300 million. What is other? And it seems as though you're begging a favor when you're putting questions to these guys. That's how it appears to you sometimes, as though you're begging favors. Uh, but I want to give you guys a sense of what transpired that was too much for me. We heard several times the speaker cautioning or trying to, and he's not paying the speaker any mind. As a matter of fact, it's like if the speaker wasn't even there. It was as though the speaker was not even there how he was behaving. Several times the speaker is telling him, stay on track, XYZ, and he just continues. He just continues. And this is the point that I said, you know what? Stop this nonsense. I can stand to my feet now. Stop this nonsense. I am going to stand to my feet. This was a moment that really and truly I said, enough is enough, folks. Taxpayers deserve better than this. Right? This is the point in the back and forth between him and members of the National Assembly. Take a listen.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that list, Honorable Minister. But could you say to this Honorable House, what is the estimated sum that you will spend in Union Narsega NDC, Bath Woodley Park NDC, and Profit Rising Sun NDC? Thank
Honorable Minister.
So, Mr. Chairman, in Union Naristigay, we'd be spending, I think, the most, $19,980,000. And I know the honorable member used to be a councillor, I hope, and he's not, still not, I hope he's not a councillor and a serving member of parliament. That would be a travesty for him. So, Mr. Chairman, because he always sits there and they do nothing for Bushlot, but everything is done in the PNC villages. Again, nothing for Bushlot. Because you know why? Bushlot has Indo-Guyanese and people who support the PPPC.
Honorable Minister, you're going very good. Tell us what you're doing for everybody. You're doing good.
So, yes, Mr. Chairman, I had the indignity of being in Bad Settlement, where my grandma, where my mother is from. And that same young lady, the Honorable Natasha Singh, sorry, a relatively elderly looking Natasha Singh.
Honorable Minister, we're getting a bit personal now. Please, let us continue
Well, I was
with...
saying young and
Honorable Minister, let's continue with providing the information on the roads
Mr. Chairman,
in the two
Mr. Chairman,
NDCs, which...
a relative of Honorable Natasha Singh Lewis.
Honorable
is one
Minister,
of our
please,
councillors.
please, let us keep our relatives out of
But it
Parliament.
hurts that they remove every single street light in Bad Settlement when they were in government.
Honorable Minister, please, could we talk about the roads?
They went to Cotton Tree and did the same. They went to Blairmont and they did the same. They went to Bushlot and
Honorable
did the
Minister,
same.
if you're finished, I'll ask the Honorable Member to ask
Mr. Chairman,
another question.
we are also in Bad Settlement. We'd be spending 7.731 million. And in Profit Rising Sun, 12,885,000.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to reiterate Profit Rising Sun and Union Naristigay are two NDCs controlled by the AP and UFC. So they're getting much more than what the PPP NDCs did.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
you. Mr. Chair, I wouldn't want to consume the time.
So guys, it's just after that I stood up because by this time I've had enough. We've had about 6 hours of this nonsense with Darren Lal in the National Assembly. Notice MP Vince Roy Jordan was questioning him. He veers off to attack Natasha Singh Lewis, MP Natasha Singh Lewis, who didn't ask a question. He veers off. The speaker said to him, "You're going good," which really truly, in my mind, is to tell him, "You're going good all the time. Stay on what you're doing." Right? Notice the speaker trying to bring him back. You're getting personal, but he ain't got time with that. And this is 6, 7, 8 hours of this nonsense. Hours of this nonsense. And so I decided, you know what? I can stand up now. And I have been suspended from 4 sittings. of the National Assembly. You all heard that. And again, we played the dildo, and this is just another episode. And the whole masquerade yesterday was filled with stuff like this. The whole masquerade. And the speaker seemed powerless to say, Minister, stick to the responses pertaining to what the question is based on. You think you'll understand what's happening here? Folks, I want us to take a listen again to the exchange. MP Vince Roy Jordan is on the floor, on the street rather, asking, inquiring, scrutinizing the budgetary process, as MPs do during this budgetary period, putting questions. He veer off, right? Because everything we see is through political lens. But settlement is PPP, this place is PNC. That's all we can see. That is all we can see. And so he's in political mode. It's not administration mode and managerial mode and leadership mode. This is politics mode. You got members of the ministry staff, people who are quote unquote apolitical, young women, young men, new perhaps to parliament. And this is the display, right? Hear him refer to the honorable member of the House, Natasha Singh Lewis, elderly looking woman. The speaker intervenes, you get him personal now, and he listening, he ain't listening. Listen to that again. Listen to it again, folks.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that list, Honorable Minister. But could you say to this Honorable House, what is the estimated sum that you will spend in Union Narsigide NDC, Bath Woodley Park NDC, and Profit Rising Sun NDC? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
So, Mr. Chairman, in Union Aristigate, we'd be spending, I think, the most, $19,980,000. And I know the honorable member used to be a councillor, I hope, and he's still not. I hope he's not a councillor and a serving member of parliament. That would be a travesty for him. So, Mr. Chair, because he always sits there and they do nothing for Bushlot, but everything is done in the PNC villages. Again, nothing for Bushlot. Because you know why? Bushlot has Indo-Guyanese and people who support the PPP.
Honorable Minister, you're going very good. Tell us what you're doing for everybody. You're doing good.
So, yes, Mr. Chairman, I had the indignity of being in Bad Settlement, where my where my mother is from. And that same young lady, the Honorable Natasha Singh, sorry, a relatively elderly looking Natasha Singh.
Honorable Minister, we're getting a bit personal now. Please, let us continue
Well, I was
with...
saying young and
Honorable Minister, let's continue with providing the information on the roads
Mr. Chairman,
in the two
Mr. Chairman,
NDCs, which...
a relative of Honorable Natasha Singh Lewis.
Honorable
is one
Minister,
of our
please,
councillors.
please, let us keep our relatives out of
But it
parliament.
hurts that they remove every single street light in Bad Settlement when they were in government.
Honorable
It
Minister,
hurts.
please, could we talk about the roads?
They went to Cotton Tree and did the same. They went to Blairmont and they did the same. They went to Bushlot
Honorable
and did the same.
Minister, if you're finished, I'll ask the honorable member to ask
Mr. Chairman,
another question.
we are also in Bad Settlement. We'd be spending 7.731 million.
So, folks, this characterizes the typical response. The typical response. You're ugly, you look like a dog, you want a dildo in you. This is the typical response from the Honorable Minister Nigel Darmalal. And by this time, this was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The parliamentary session starts at 10 in the morning to scrutinize the estimates. This is just after 4, just before 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We've had enough. I have had enough of it. And I decided now, I'm going to intervene. If the speaker cannot contain and rein in this member of the National Assembly, I will speak, whatever the consequences. Whatever the consequences. You hear the minister talking over the speaker. Talking over the speaker. And we're going to pull other parts of the presentation and play it so you can understand what you go through. You go there to transact the nation's business. And this is the quality of behavior from the average minister. And you got a bishop who came out last night and said absolutely nothing, defending dildo and old face and all the nonsense. A bishop who's supposed to be rising above the fray because you have a greater sense of morality and justice and fairness and respect for women. Bishop Wanajil came out last night and talking a bunch of froth, as my grandmother would say. A bunch of froth. And you wonder where we going. Where we going, folks? Where we going? Some of you now joining the discussion. This is another one that you're familiar with. The dildo one. Add it to that. Are we gonna be playing couple of them?
The, the reason why this figure was higher in you gotta get dildo. That's what you're looking for. There were snacks that had to be supplied to the team that distributed the COVID cash grant. So that in you gotta get dildo. That's what you're looking for.
Folks, you'll understand where we are. You understand where we are. You understand where we there. Them boys come back. Them boys come back. And by the time then I've had enough. I have had enough. I've had enough. And then when you add Sue on top of this, you understand it's training them by getting trained. You understand it's training them by getting trained. It's training them boys getting trained. Because they have no respect for women. Right? And that is why when Isobel Yeung pose the questions any journalist worth their salt should pose, doing their research, and you're bringing the facts, and you say, what are your thoughts on this? What are your responses on these allegations? He can't handle it. And those of you who are new to that discussion, they said it was on the 1st of February, the interview between the Vice Media Group journalist Isobel Yeung was had, and apparently it's a bombshell of an interview. The installed Vice President Bar Jagdeo decided to preempt the release of the report by Isobel Yeung from Vice News Media. Preempt that by putting out part of the interview on his Facebook page. If that was not enough, the fallout from that piece alone about this Su character, the Chinese businessman Su, enlisted a press conference the following day by the very vice president. By this point, Isobel Yeung hadn't said anything. No one knew that an interview was even done because, again, it was the vice president who preempted the report that is forthcoming, put out part of the recording of the interview, and then subsequently held a press conference to do damage control on that issue. After that, or rather in that interview, that second press conference, or the press conference, because the first one was the interview, then you had the press conference by the installed vice president. He said that he had spoken to Sue, who Vice News Media alleged said that the vice president was taking bribes as part of giving out these big contracts to Chinese contractors. The vice president was taking bribes. That is what was alleged. So the vice president says that Sue is his tenant, and Sue from time to time would refer persons to him for advice and so forth. And he meets with all manner of people to give advice and to help out. But that was not what Isobel Yeung said. She said Sue was the middleman, sending people for contracts and collecting money on his behalf. That is what was alleged by Vice News Media. In the interview, it came out. As if that was not enough, yesterday morning, we dealt with this matter on our show. FYI, And after that show, the Chinese embassy in Guyana put out a statement stating that their contractors are above board and, the usual stuff. Of course, they wouldn't come out to say their contractors receive bribes. No one is expecting that. So they come out to say that their contractors are above board. And then someone released a statement. Someone released a statement in which it is said to be so. It I didn't see a signature. I saw words being conveyed to the public by newsroom. And the statement read, or reads rather, the statement reads, I, Su Yi Rong, wish to state categorically, forgive me if my Chinese pronunciation is off, wish to state categorically that I have never solicited any bribe, inducement from any company or individual for either myself or any government official, including Vice President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. I have read the insinuations by the Vice News Network and others and wish to deny any wrongdoing, including influence peddling. I have been a businessman in Guyana for many years, and I have always conducted myself in accordance with local and national laws and standards. I wish to refute strongly any suggestion that I acted on behalf of any government official, that I presented myself as a representative of anyone, or that I promised any favor or business related reward. I have already engaged my legal representatives on these false reports and fabrication. And there end the statement from Su Yi Rong. Sue, that was Sue's statement. Folks, this morning, Isabel Young tweeted about this issue. Isabel Young tweeted about this issue. And it's on my Facebook page on Facebook. Well, my Facebook page can be anyplace else. Duh, Sharon. My Facebook page, it's there. The tweet that Isabel Young put out for those of you who are not on Twitter. Just to ensure that we're covering all our bases, we're not, slandering or libeling anybody. And the statement from Isabel Young was very short, or the tweet from Isabel Young. I can't say the tweet from Twitter because where else the tweets come from? The tweet said this, and this is Isabel Young. We seem to have hit a nerve with Guyana's Vice President Jack Dew. Our report hasn't even come out yet. And she has several screenshots of whether it's newspaper covers or other snapshots of other parts of articles and so on surrounding this story. This is Isabel Young. She says, we seem to have hit a nerve with Guyana's Vice President Guyana's Vice President Jack Dew. Our report hasn't even come out. Our report hasn't even come out yet. We seem to have hit a nerve. So y'all know, folks, more in the matter than on the pistol. Let me hear from some of you guys today. 627-6963 WhatsApp. 627-6963. 627-6963. More in the matter than on the pistol. I would love to hear from some of you. 627-6963. More in the matter than on the pistol. That is Isabel Young on Twitter. She said, we seem to have hit a nerve with Guyana's Vice President Jack Dew. And we report ain't even come out yet. Folks, I think we're in for some interesting times. And we'll be here bringing it all to you folks. we ringside on this one. We ringside on this one, folks. Isabel Young seems to be going below the belt. Isabel Young saying I ain't even released the report yet. But I seem to have hit a nerve. That nerve might be below the belt. A very good afternoon. Welcome to Below the Belt. Talk the things.
Good day, Sharon. Do they have parliament today?
Yes, the estimates are still being considered. It's the final day.
And if they do, why do they have the opposition there? This is a foregone conclusion. There is nothing they can expose more than what the public already know.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, being there is like solidifying the nonsense that they were accepting all the time. When Jagdi was in opposition, he would have walked out and wouldn't go back there again.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
should have been aware of what happened yesterday. You were the only male among them who had the balls to stand up and defend those females. Why are they there today? Why are they in parliament? They should have been aware because regardless if they stay there and they make objection to stuff which they've been doing all the time, it falls on their hearing. Nadia is mindset on just pushing through TPP and the oligarchs' agenda. You don't have time with nobody else. And for the likes of it, is there anything you guys can do to fight that suspension? Could that be taken to court?
Well,
Because just yes.
I would only say that the team is considering every option. I would only say that the team currently considering every option, my brother.
Because this is crazy. This is beyond craziness now. This has gone to a stage now. It's like you in the bottom of the cesspool. This is where this thing has gone. I can't understand.
I would only disagree with you there. I would only disagree with you there to the extent that we below bottom. When we reach up, we touch in bottom. We below bottom.
My lord, this with all with you have old Smoky Joe, as they call her. People who were there in all the decades, and they listened, they heard what Dharamlal said, and nobody was able to say, well, Dharamlal, you have done enough. This is crazy. You can't do that anymore. All those female owners were run a company. And it's not the first time because that one of the former ministers now who is in opposition, she was pushed down by Kwame or sometime there at the same place, and nothing happened. They made reports to the police, and the police seems to act as though, well,
they couldn't
this
see the
never
video,
happened
they
before,
couldn't do this, and they couldn't see any action on the video, all kinds of badness.
I am saying, so what happens yesterday will continue to happen because nothing happened before. Jagdi has no respect for female because we know what he did to Vashti. And all those criminals who are there, who wear pants and they're not really half a man, they treat women with indignity. So what do you expect them to do? Something has got too much talking me.
Something's got to give.
No time for action, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sharad, you have a wonderful day and you take care. So tell me something before I hang up. This forced suspension would amongst a 1 month away because
no, it's whenever whenever the parliament is sitting. It's whenever the parliament is sitting. From what I know, it doesn't affect your pay. But the parliament hardly sits anyhow. Every time the parliament meets, them boys want money. So,
but what I'm saying, if the fourth session ends in December, you'll be away until then.
Correct.
Crazy.
Correct. It is what it is, and I would do it all over again if it meant that bringing bricks in up this fella here. Thanks for joining us, my brother.
All the men should have stood up with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for kind thoughts. And I would only say that I think, any one of my other male colleagues there on the parliamentary opposition side would have stepped in eventually because it was so egregious. It was so egregious. It was so egregious. Thanks, my brother.
Hello.
A very good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. I want the Parliament email, but I don't know if it's possible. I message if she listen on air, it would be good. Why don't she ask Lal to give her the dildo so she could give it? And if he need to go to Jericho or one in her past because he's dead. He's dead down there, so he would know what she would know. And let her give his wife and his. Was he know her mother? If she was living or what and what? He is That man is a male chauvinist.
Thank you for your contribution, my
Something is
brother.
wrong with him
Yeah.
mentally. And you know what? I'm surprised. What happened to all the rest of Parliament? The male that was in Parliament is it? What? They just sit down. None of them want to be suspended. They now look to be. They need to be examined because they, how could you tell a female she need a dildo? Apparently, he went there and he wasn't really doing well. So he probably got to use the dildo. Or
Yeah.
give his
Yeah.
wife and his
I would only
mother.
say that I'm not too familiar with all the, if any at all, medical conditions with
But could you
Mr.
deliver
Nandulal,
to
but
Miss
I think it
Natasha?
was Darmalal who was on the floor talking about the dildo
Yeah, that
nonsense.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was on the floor. I'm saying motion to suspend you.
Yeah.
What happened to the rest of the opposition MPs? They're dumb too? That is what I want to find out, if they're dumb. But anyhow, have to let her collect the dildo and give his mother and his sister and his wife, sorry.
Thank
It
you for
will
your
be good.
contribution, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Yep, folks. One caution: if somebody is on the line, I pray that you don't call as yet, so we don't get the interference. Welcome to Below the Belt. Talk the things.
Sharon,
Good afternoon. You're live on air.
good afternoon. Thanks for growing some balls yesterday. You almost end up with a goatee with all the balls that you grow. You know? Thanks for doing it.
Gotta do what we
I
gotta do, my
was
brother.
surprised that the other men wasn't able to put on those balls. But what do you expect from a young man who have grown up with a father who raped his nieces? Right? What do you expect to come out from the man? Nothing good could come out from that man.
I hear my brother. I
No,
hear you.
nothing good could
I
come
ain't
out
familiar
from
with the whole family
I have
history and story and so on, but
I have
I
a
hear you.
suggestion. Well, it's no secret. All right. I have a suggestion to make to you, but we'll make that suggestion to you on the line. I'll call you some other time and we'll talk about it.
All right, my brother. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
But we hit. There's no lower than that low which we do.
Yeah.
Good man.
Thanks for your contribution. Yep, folks. There you have it. I pray, folks. And someone is on the line. We hold up. Good afternoon. You are live on Below the Belt. Good afternoon. You are live. Good afternoon. You are live. You are live on the program Below the Belt. I know the name, but just letting you know you are live. Good afternoon. You are live on the program Below the Belt.
Hi, good afternoon, Sharon.
Good afternoon.
Concerning this interview, I've listened to this interview over and over again.
Who
And
is
you know
Sue?
what is sad?
Tell us.
You know what is sad is that this Chinese company, Bai Ling, was came into Guyana to do value added. They were supposed to cut logs and create a factory or something of the sort and
Mhm.
hire 600 guys. They didn't. Instead, they were allowed to raid our forest. Then you
Mhm.
had this. Then you had the bauxite company on the other hand. They were there for I think 14 years, if I'm not mistaken. And the guy they were saying they're making anything. You're making no profit, but you sit down for 14 years, and you had officials allowing. You understand? In their own word, he's claiming that he help out people. You helping out people. What about your people? Your people need help. They needed jobs at that time. You allow a company to sit down there in honor the contract by doing, creating the value added by giving your people work. You understand? And then another thing when you look at it, you see the vindictiveness and the pettiness. You have local companies, you have BK, you have this other I can't remember the other Courtney Ben and all these local contractors. You aren't giving them nothing. But then you got the nerve to say you're helping out other people and you're helping out other countries and you got your people them suffering. You understand?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
karma got a way of as we say what goes wrong come back around. You understand?
Yep,
This
yep,
story is going to get this story is going to get more interesting. And you see, and when you look at when you look at the interview, you see the deception and the lies. You understand? But Guyanese people are not stupid. It's only that a lot we are suffering in silence because a lot of the Guyanese people don't speak out. You understand? But let's see where Soviet takes us.
yep.
All right.
Thanks for your contribution, my brother. Thank you so much for coming through. Yep. People aren't stupid. We big and we got sense. We big people and we have sense. We big and we got sense. All right. That's how we'll say there. We big and we got sense. Folks, we are running up to program time. We can take a couple more calls. I think we do have one. Welcome to the program, the podcast Below the Belt. You are live. Go right ahead.
Hi, good day, Sharon. Good day.
Good day, my
Um,
brother.
um, I like the way you stood your ground. I still think that the opposition could have done more, and your one man protest could have been much more effective if the action from the opposition was taken in the right way. And this is the problem. People are keep Guyanese are keep repeating. Nobody understands what really the opposition is doing. Because so far, you guys are being defeated. Or sorry to say this, but you guys need to hear this. You guys at no time so far been effective. Now my question, because we were told that well, you guys needed to be in parliament. It's necessary to be in parliament. And all sorts of stuff being told to the Guyanese why you guys need to be in parliament. Now, what will be the end game at the end of this budget with the opposition? Because so far, it come again, you guys are not achieving anything. You guys said about the information and all these things that are needed. I think to myself personally, Guyanese have enough information what is going on there in Guyana. Now I want to know, my question to the opposition, what is the end game with you guys after this budget is being passed? What is the end game? What you guys supporters will achieve with your presence there in parliament and the budget, if the budget still passed, what will they get? Or what will be the end game? That is my question.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. All right, guys. Good question. Good question. And you have a right to ask the question. It's in that parliamentary process, that same scrutinizing process. A lot of things are uncovered. A lot of things are uncovered. That's how we found out was Al Maktoum supplying the Sputnik V. Right? Al Maktoum disappeared with the money now. It's another story. A very good afternoon. Welcome below the belt.
Yes,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon, Sharon. Now, my concern is how can we have companies that has been blacklisted by the World Bank come in here and have contracts in Guyana? That speaks
Yeah,
volumes.
because you could pay a little money through some middleman and you get in.
That definitely speaks volumes.
That's how. Thanks for coming through, my sister.
Okay.
Thank you. You pay money through a middleman and you get through. That's how. Very good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir.
Welcome. Below the belt. Talk the things. Talk the things.
Yeah, I'm going to go a bit more low than the belt. I heard you talk last night about Alibaba and the party.
Mhm.
All right, but you yet to name one more. Okay,
Mhm.
so you be part one. That is to be yourself included with the $5 million from the newspaper place there.
Chronicle.
Chronicle, that's one.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
Two, you was at the garbage place there.
I was at City Hall. It's not a garbage place.
Yeah. Okay. You was at City Hall.
Is you helping
Imagine.
out?
Yes, thank you. Garbage refuse you, and I got Another one for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dildo for you and yours.
All right. Many happy returns. Thank you, sir, for your contribution. Nonetheless, interestingly enough, folks, there was an audit that was done at Chronicle, and everything we said we bought with the state funds were identified, right? And if they believe otherwise and they want to do another audit, if they want to do another audit, they're free to do that. Everything that was identified as being bought with the state funds were bought. Were bought. So if people feel that something untoward happened, and if people transgress the law, they should be held accountable. They should be held accountable. While I was general manager, my brother, at the state company Chronicle, an investigation was done. And just in case he wasn't apprised of everything that transpired, I was reinstated, and I said to the prime minister, I did not want to go back to that entity, um, for my own personal reasons. I think too much had already occurred, and I stepped back from that whole process. So if that is what you're coming with now, some $5 million missing from Chronicle, I think if that's with the way folks want to go, you see that is how democracies operate. You are free to put that to me, but you have to hear the response, right? And I would love if the current administration, I certainly have a copy by now, absolutely certain they have a copy of that. What you call it? The audit that was done, right? You know why they haven't gone down that road? You can tell me why close to 2 years now, being in administration, they have not gone down that road. Publish the audit, let people see. Right? And you can tell that that gentleman is just as sick as Darmla. Listen to him. Oh, you need a dildo too. That's the best argument that he has. Well, where are we going? But I thank him for having put his comments to me nonetheless. You are live. You are live. Go right ahead. I can hear myself in the background, so you have to turn on a little bit for me, and then go right ahead, my sister.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to contribute to what happened yesterday towards that Islamic female.
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm.
first thing that needs to happen is that CING, who knows what Prophet Muhammad has said about the volume and the value of women, should get up and speak out against what has happened to a Muslim woman while she's wearing her hijab. That's one. All women organizations in Guyana need to get up and speak out against what has happened to this female, because I cannot remember any man giving birth to a child. And what's his name? The minister, I didn't even have a chance to call his name. I'm still angry. He has come from a woman. And I would say, cursed be the womb that has produced such a thing, that he can stand and insult a woman who could probably be his mother. And the women in Guyana need to stand up and send a message. Because if this had happened in any one of the ABC's countries, especially in the US, where there's a Me Too movement, he was not going to be there today. It is insulting, he's brazen, and everyone from the opposition to the government, every female that sat there and listened to what he said and did not get up and say anything, they are an insult to the female. Because this should not have happened. It should not have happened. But you know what's going to happen in the long run? His household will pay for whatever happens through the women. Because when you speak ill of somebody, the Bible says life or death lies in the tongue. And when you speak ill of somebody, you actually is bringing that back to you. So his words will fall back on these women, not that woman. He was a violation and an insult to the woman who gave birth to him. And if he is a man of daughters and have sisters, he's an insult to them also. It is belittling, and it tells me he can only be ignorant to have done such a thing to a female. A female in a hijab who did not know how to respond. But if it was me, I would have known what to say to him, because I was telling him where he can take to and put it. He's disrespectful. And the women in Guyana Red, Trade Human Rights Association, speak out against this nonsense. It is blatantly disrespectful to females. I have a son, and I would never teach him to be disrespectful to females. I don't care if it's right or a prostitute in the street. He should not. Women are born with all their eggs in their ovaries. Men have to build sperm. He did not give birth to himself.
I hear you, my sister. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much. Folks, I believe with all my heart because we've been talking about it, and any of the male MPs on the parliamentary opposition side would have stepped in. I'm confident of that. Was stepped in. I my meter just probably little shorter. Folks, as I get old, I find like I can't take too much nonsense. Honestly, God, I've lived most of my life under the PPP, and I come to the point where I can't take too much more of nonsense. And people got more toleration perhaps than me, and I'm learning how to cope with in these transitioning years in my life. I can't take too much foolishness, and I just speak my mind. I just speak my mind. Who vex lose? Welcome below the belt. Talk the things.
Good afternoon, Sharon.
Good afternoon.
What I want to say that Dharamlal, when I used to go to school, the headmaster used to take all of them and put them to watch the cane field and ask them if it's what they want to do because they were done and he done. That woman that he speaks to is very, very close to me. I live in the same village next door to her. They are educated people. Her father was a headmaster. Her uncle was a headmaster too. They are not hand to mouth. And these people like they just wake up and see money. That is a wicked, duntified bitch. I'm telling you. And what ends a man defiles the man. So basically, he can do better. But what I think y'all should have done, I am willing because I just want protest. Yeah, this morning, all the women them should be out there for them. And you have to come out and let me do the thing. We gotta do the thing. These people is too blasted wicked. Who the hell is he for tell the woman but she wanted this? But let me tell you, Sharon, this thing is when an Indian woman take a black man, coolie men just want to disrespect them. I am telling you that. You know where I born? A rural Rosiknal village. I know Natasha before she didn't even born. Her aunts them they are well educated, quiet people. These people wicked. This man wicked, and you can't expect better because it starts from the head. So if it starts from the head, we think it can go. Not right to the shoulder, wicked bitch. But one dildo. And from the beginning, when the first one they come in with the dildo, y'all should have stopped it right then and there. Y'all said, I want to know if opposition ain't got no rights at all. Y'all ain't got no rights. And you can't say nothing. You can't with them alone got everything. I could remember with Winston Winnie when all them they're bringing all them bills. Some people cutting and double back off. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? And you can't say nothing. If y'all in there, y'all they in there, or I on they in there, they're still doing what I want doing. All of them disrespectful and the wicked. And a woman, he got a woman. You could understand how he must start his wife or his mother. Because this come from them. Them back settlements and them, I know them good. Because I went to school with some of them. They're done. They're done. Them are no eatable food. That's my take for today.
Thank you, my sister. The wicked stink and dirty. Right? The wicked stink and dirty. That's what's happening. That's it. That's the picture. When you hear that, when you hear the nonsense, that is what it really is there. That's the characterization of it, the actualization of it. You all think the folks easy? You all think they're easy? They're not easy. A very good afternoon. You are live below the belt.
A blessed good afternoon to you, Sharon.
Same to you, my brother.
It is very, very disturbing to see Guyana's society has reached a point whereby in a modern and a civilized world as we are all living in, the people who are supposed to be setting examples so that the people of the country can follow respectfully and decent in a decent fashion are there to bear, to watch and to hear and to see people who are placed in positions being disrespectful not only to the House, but to the people, the citizens, and the women of this country. I would like to see, Sherrod, this kind of actions that you see that this man has portrayed in that house, it is an indication how these people treat their family and treat their wives. This is how they treat their wives. And this is why, as the last caller called, whenever you see an Indian woman leave their husbands or their man or their men and they go to other men of other race, ethnic groups, they don't want to go back there because you know why? The abuse is being so much greatly done to them and their family and their children. They don't want us ever to see them. This is a look, Sharon, in the whole. This de facto this is depicting who they are. His attitude in Parliament there depicts what the Ali and the Barjaglio regime is all about.
That I believe.
Disrespect.
That I
Thanks a lot,
believe.
Sharon.
Thanks for
Thanks
coming
a
through,
lot.
man. Thanks for coming through. And
Thanks a lot.
why we can't just drink we water and mind we own business? Why you got concerns with who there with who is Indian or who there with a black man? Don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother you. They're taking rights off of your table. They're taking rights off your table. Let us sit in National Assembly and bring policies, bring legislation that develops this country. Why can't a minister stand up there, even if they install, and you command the respect of your colleagues, not in this lewd manner, but by being in touch with the facts of your ministry, being able to say, this is why we're allocating that there. These are the reasons, these are the compelling factors. Not drifting off course and getting lewd about dildo and all the nonsense. This is going to be our last caller. You below the belt. Good afternoon. Talk the things.
Hello. Good afternoon, Sharon.
Yes, you're alive. Go ahead.
I just want to say my bit. I just want to congratulate you on what you did in Parliament, standing up for the women. I am so proud of you. I'm sure your mom has brought you up really well, and she should be proud also. Thank you for what you have done. And concerning that, that is a low life. He cannot change. It's in his right to hate women the way he does. Have a good day, son.
I hear you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much for your contribution.
Thank you.
Folks, we got to be brought up cement, And I keep telling you, we might be poor, but we could get values. We could be poor, but we rich in character. We could be poor financially, but we rich in integrity. We could be poor financially, but we rich in character, folks. Right? So when people talk about stealing and your thief chronicle money, anybody who knows me, you couldn't pass that by them. But you see, people want propaganda and dollar. That's so they can go down that line. Nothing, nobody has ever enticed me for me to covet in that way. Right? You have to settle those issues in your mind very early. You don't steal. That's part of your value system. Right? You can conduct yourself a certain way. You can try to be professional. You got to settle those issues early, you see. Because if you go to the National Assembly and you're now deciding how you're going to operate, you're going to end up telling people about dildo and who face all and all kinds of worries. Right? And Dharamlal got to sort out a lot of stuff. On these programs, I tell you all, like I'm telling, like I said about May at Home Affairs, you got to decide whether you want to be a sweet girl and a sweet boy, or you're going to be a professional in the public service and operate like a professional. Right? So he was what upset me yesterday is that one, he was attacking Natasha Singh Lewis, and the speaker can't trailing him. And there were young women sitting next to him who seemed to be cringing. Professionals in the public service just come to help out, give guidance to the minister on the subject matter. Right? And here is he carrying on. What they must think of us as parliamentarians. It was madness, and I'm certain that one of my other colleagues would have stepped in soon enough. I am absolutely certain. I was absolutely certain. Folks, it was a blur to me. I was in the MP's lounge listening to the budget debate. They were I had other parliamentary colleagues there, and we were conferring back and forth with what was being said about the estimates and all of that. And I'm listening to him all the time, and I'm saying, what's happening here, folks? Listening to all of the derogatory remarks back and forth, back and forth. And I was in the lounge when I heard what was transpiring between him and the speaker. Listen, because there's audio there and video, and it's bare nonsense. And the speaker has to take responsibility for Nigel Jamlal. Has to take responsibility for what transpired there. Has to take responsibility. It is his house, and he has that supervisory jurisdiction. And Damlal walked over him every time. Walked over him every time he tried to step in. You understand why Sue and them others at the top behaving the way they behave? Who holds them in check? Who holds them in check? Got to be we the people. Got to be we the people who gonna hold them in check. That is what I signed up for. Me signed up to be a sweet boy, and me signed up for nobody like me. And I'm certain that's why my colleagues signed up too. You think this is about the shares and the likes and this kind of nonsense? We stood up to represent the people. I got some values that says I must speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. I must speak up for the rights of all those who are destitute. I must speak up. I must judge fairly. I must defend the rights of the poor and the needy. That's Proverbs 8 and 9. I am guided by that in the work that I do as a member of parliament. I signed up because I believe there are people in these societies, in this country that we have, that we can help, whether it's bad settlement or it's bush lot, whether it's Rosignol or it's quarantine, that we can help. And I believe I can add to the process of shaping legislation and shaping policy at the highest level in this country, even though I went to Ishmael, that I can stand there and I could contribute. And because of my religious belief, I'm compelled, I must speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. I must speak for the rights of all those who are destitute. I must speak up. I must judge fairly. I must defend the rights of the poor and needy. And that is how I translate what I believe and the God in whom I believe to the work I do as a parliamentarian. This is my ministry and this is my calling. I am not fearing any man, for my eyes have seen the glory and the coming of the Lord. And so I will continue to speak, and who vex lose. And I know my colleagues as well. Right? It didn't bother me that Natasha is Muslim and I'm Christian. The same way it doesn't bother me if I see Priya Malikchan being cornered by somebody and her rights are being, I'd fight for Priya. Don't let me get tied up. And if I see Vindhya Prasad rights being denied to her, I would fight somebody for Vindhya. We're all brothers and sisters in this country, and wrong gotta be wrong, irrespective of who is doing it. Irrespective of who is doing it. That is why I say, let's fight. But it's not a physical fight, it's a fight for ideas. It's not a physical fight only. Let me qualify that. It's a fight for ideas mainly. We must contend with how we can build this country and make it a better place for all of us. And so I dare say, because of my faith and my belief that there is still hope for Darmlal, is when we go into the grave, you can't change nothing. But as long as there's life, there's hope. And Darmlal, if he wants to, can accept a different way of living, a different way of treating women. A different way of treating women. And what I practice in public is what I perform in my home. So my skin cringe to hear Bishop Wanagel come out on social media last night and television and the other places they go with the propaganda and defend and to say he didn't see nothing wrong with it. Of course, you didn't see nothing wrong, Bishop. Give me a break. But I am saying, as for me and my house, we gonna walk a certain way. As for me and my house extends to my colleagues in the National Assembly. You understand? We got some difficult days ahead of us, folks. We got some difficult days ahead. And I dare say any one of my male colleagues, especially in the parliamentary opposition, would have done what I would have done. I have the confidence that they would have done it for our females. Enough is enough, folks. Enough is enough. We can stand by and we can allow Sugate. We can stand by or we can allow the high century with all the oil and gas, or we can do something about it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You see why we depend on you guys to move forward? Because we want to talk where we want to talk. And I want to let them know, because I know right now they're listening, they can be tuned in for slander and liable and for this and for that, because they are hellbound. You see, the hundreds of you who watching us at a midday hour, it's a problem to them. When they turn on and they go on social media and they get in 200 people watching them and 65 people watching them, it bothers them that at a midday hour we could get hundreds of people watching us. And in the evenings, we could get thousands of people. That bothers them. And I'm telling you guys early, there are difficult days ahead. And you will see them try every way and fashion to dismantle what we are doing here. You will see them in every way. You will see them try to dismantle what is happening here. But having done all to stand, folks, I'm going to stand. We are going to stand, having done all to stand. So last evening, I was suspended for 4 sittings. This morning, I went to court I was required to on this 10th day of February. I went to court on that other matter with the fellow from GCOM whose feeling is hurt because he thought I was speaking to him and all kinds of nonsense. And that matter has been postponed to March 3rd. We return to court, just by way of update. So it's a battle on all fronts. But having done all to stand, folks, this is why I was born. This period is why I was born. We got some difficult days ahead, folks. But we out here. We out here. And again, I say, I have no fear that the other members, male members especially, of the parliamentary opposition, would not have done what I did last evening. It was only a matter of time. I'm confident they would have done the same. Having said that, folks, I want to thank all of you for joining our program today. Thank you for all the persons who called in. We know Fridays are our calling day, but the matters have grown so great. The Sues of this world, I was looking forward to Isobel Yeung's report when it comes out. She said the report isn't even out yet, but we touch a nerve. It ain't out yet, and we touch a nerve. Folks, we cannot do these programs without you. And I'm telling you, they're coming with all kinds of mechanisms. All kinds of mechanisms they are coming with. We know they're plotting and planning. The same way they're listening to us, we listen to them. The same way they're investigating us, we investigating them. And so we know they are coming. Difficult days are ahead, folks. Difficult days are ahead. I want to thank each and every one of you who've joined us. And I want to invite you guys to come on board and partner with us. We out here, folks. We ain't talking the talk only. We are prepared to walk the walk. What are you prepared to do? We hope part of that is coming on board and being a partner so we can do what we got to do. You understand me? You understand me? We got to do what we got to do. And I want to thank my lawyers from Hughes Fields and Stobie. I had with me this morning the very young Narissa Leander and Miss Ayana Butts from Hughes Fields and Stobie. Them girls bad for days. Bad for days. And I'm privileged to be represented by them and the Hughes Fields and Stobie law firm. I'm privileged to be represented by them. And so I'm prepared for the worst. We got some difficult days ahead, folks. And I want to invite you to come on board and to partner with us. We have the Cash App platform available. It's a $ in the ring 592. That is the Cash App platform. It is a $ in the ring 592. We also available via PayPal and via Zelle. The email address for PayPal and Zelle, they are the same, one and the same. It is in the ring 592 at gmail.com. It's one and the same, in the ring 592 at gmail.com. That's for PayPal and Zelle, our email address there. And then we're available via MMG. Our number there is 627 6963. 627 6963. That's our number there. And you can WhatsApp us at that number if you need any guidance on any of these platforms. And then we're available via MoneyGram and via Western Union as well. I want to thank you guys who've been supporting us to keep us going, who've been supporting our work here as members of Parliament. To do this work, to get the valid and credible information to you in this manner. I want to thank you guys for buoying us, for carrying us in this front. It is not a cheap enterprise. If I give you all the figure takes to do this on a month-to-month basis, you're left with your mouth open. But by the grace of God, we're doing it. And I want to thank all of you who've been part of that. I want to thank all of you who've been part of that, helping us month by month. Respect and manners. They're vexing them, you know. They're vexing them, and they match. They're hatching their mechanicians. It's hot in them that we out here, and they're hatching their mechanicians, right? But we serve an awesome God. And there's a man upstairs who's concerned about all our affairs. And I want to thank you guys for joining us. We out here, folks. We out here. Thanks for joining us, Andrew Cuthbert and Paulette and Urban Don Cook and Yolanda and Donna, Paulette Kippins. Judy Paul is here. Jackie Beard, Diane Graves, Andy. All of you fantastic folk. I see Agatha Queen is here too, and Rhonda Ferguson. Good to see you guys. Jackie Beard and Jordan Jasmine Carmichael. Good to see you folks. Tony Hack is here as well. And Juliet Benjamin will not be left out. Rowena Williams has come here as well. And we see you there. Guys like Rumi Leander, thanks for joining us. And Pamela Jarrick. Thanks to each and every one of you guys. You make the program what it is, you know. And when y'all shop here, y'all just fix them. Guys, before you go, ensure you share the live stream and you smash, smash, smash that emoji button as well. Share, share, share the live stream. We're back tonight at 8, folks, in the ring. Ping, 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 ping. We're back here at 8. Peace and power in 2022. Thanks for joining us. That's our time today. Thanks for joining our international podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex lose? That's our time, folks. Stay safe. Stay safe.